If you're not new to the channel, you know that I often review symmetrical, more smaller mice. Well, today we're checking out the Terra Pro. The guys at Teevolution were super kind enough to send this out to me, so shout out to them. But again, that won't sway my opinion, and I'll do my best to give a 100% honest review. Now, before we dive into what's in this thing, this is the first ergonomic mouse that I've used, and it feels very different. I'm used to adapting around the shape and size of a mouse, but holding this thing, it feels like it's adapted to me. I feel like I barely have to grip this thing to move it. In the box, you'll find some grip tape, a collection card, some extra skates, some Teevolution stickers, dot skates, a quick start guide, a 1K Hz receiver, and a USB-C cable for charging, all for an 8K rapid sync dongle. They did also throw in a Terra Genesis special pack, which includes the Genesis edition grip tape and 16 black dot skates. Now, this is the rapid sync 8K wireless receiver for the Terra Pro, which upgrades the mouse's performance from a standard 1K Hz to 8K Hz polling. I've seen a lot of unique mouse receivers, but this one's caught my eye. It's got an integrated LCD display which shows real-time feedback on the mouse settings, including the battery percentage, the current polling rate, and other active settings, as well as the date and time, which is a nice touch. The Terra Pro weighs in at just 49 grams and utilizes the Pixart 3950 sensor, which supports up to 42,000 dpi at 8K polling. For the main buttons, it does use the FE optical switches, which gives it that nice crisp mechanical click. This mouse also does support tri-mode connectivity and allows you to switch between wireless, USB-C, or Bluetooth. The Terra Pro is a medium to large right-handed ergonomic mouse and reminds me of the legendary G703 from Logitech. With its very palm-aggressive hump, even though it sits in a large category, this thing is under 50 grams and it doesn't feel bulky. Now, I've got large hands and usually I like smaller mice to feel more in control. But even though this sits in a large category, it does feel very snug and I don't feel like I'm over gripping it. And in fact, it does feel pretty relaxed with it in my hands. The buttons are massive, giving me loads of room to click. Having large thumbs often means that I can misclick, especially the side buttons, but the large buttons and room under it allows me to have more control. They offer both web and software depending on your preference, but it's nothing we haven't seen before. You can reconfigure the buttons of the mouse and choose the debounce time from 0 to 15 milliseconds, which basically stops a single click being registered multiple times by your PC. Here you can customize up to 4 DPI stages, which can be cycled by the button under the mouse. You can also change your polling rate from 125 to 8000 Hz. Below you can change your LOD, which is the height that your sensor stops tracking once you lift up the mouse, and toggle between motion sync, angle snapping, and ripple control if you want. Now, how does this mouse actually feel, and is it any good in-game? I thought a good game to test would be Battlefield 6, which is a fast-paced game with super low time to kill, and you need to hit your opponent first 90% of the time. The first thing that was noticeable was that my grip was really relaxed, and I tend to grip my mouse aggressively when tracking or making quick flicks to opponents. But because the mouse is so full and fits my hand so nicely, there wasn't a need to, and the weight also being light played a massive role in allowing me to make quick flicks with no fatigue and minimal effort. This mouse is intended for palm grip due to the shape and high rear hump, and me being a semi-aggressive claw, it had the potential to be very uncomfortable and very overwhelming, but that wasn't actually the case. Having loosened my grip allowed me to have more of a relaxed claw, which this mouse is pretty suitable for, and it gives you that locked in feeling at the base of your palm, and there isn't a need to press any part of the mouse any harder than the rest. I had no issues with medium speed tracking and target switching. I also made less errors being so relaxed, which meant little micro adjustments. My only issue was that due to the shape, my hand did feel pretty unbalanced. It felt like my hands were leaning a bit to the right and the weight shifted towards my pinky finger. But then again, that's because I'm used to symmetrical mice. I did want to revisit the 8K Rapid Sync dongle again, and I think it's such a cool addition to the mouse. Not only is it pretty aesthetic to your setup, but it's an actual tool that you can use to save so much time. You'll know exactly when your mouse is about to die, so there's no heartbreak when it stops working mid-round. You'll know what polling rate you're using. You can have multiple profiles for different configs, switching from game to game, and one quick glance and you know it's time to get off and take a shower. Really creative from the team at Teevolution. To further test how I perform with the mouse, I decided to run a quick grid shot scenario, which involves quick switching from target to target, and I just want to observe my responsiveness, my grip, and performance overall. And safe to say, it was all pretty positive. The mouse didn't make me feel fatigued making all these quick movements. And from the start to finish, my grip was pretty relaxed, allowing aim to be smoother. And I even set a personal record on the scenario. For something to be the shape of a G703 and the weight of an OP18K, I'm really impressed. I never thought I'd like using an ergonomic mouse, but this has really changed my mind. It's light, responsive, and feels really suited to larger hands. The coating also allows for good grip without needing tape, and even the stock honeycomb skates felt really good on cloth pad. The button feels really good and mechanical, and the scroll wheel feels really smooth, and with each scroll it feels really premium. The only issues I have is that I do sweat a lot, which makes the black coating look really bad after a couple uses, and the shape will take quite a lot getting used to, as I often feel like I make contact with my mousepad towards my pinky. Right now you can get a mouse for as little as £61, but with the 8K added dongle it's £84. It does come in black and white, which both look really good. Loads of add-ons are available. From what I've used of it so far, the build quality is pretty excellent and very well made. If you're looking for a similar shape, I'd definitely recommend this.